Hello, you guys, and welcome to this episode of En Lo Real. Um, this is a little different, and I do want to make it a little more different because it's more personable. I will be sharing more of my background, a little bit more of my story, and kind of gives reason to this project, this me starting this path, me starting this podcast. And I hope others can take away more of what they see or when they see me. Um, because I have a lot of truth to speak. Um, so, yes, I think some people, I do have, I do want to pause and say I do have some notes here that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, and just to keep my mind on track because I can go literally different directions. I did want to film outside, but then it got windy and then dark, so here we are. But I have a good comfort setting for this site, for this little story. I just know not many people have the courage to put their story out there, and I just want to share mine just so we can maybe learn from each other, relate, put it out there for others to literally grow from. Um, but yeah, I think where I want to start is that people often feel intimidated when speaking their truth, because you either get a person that is insecure about theirs and they're like, why is she speaking her truth, or why are they speaking their truth? I have stuff too. But just because someone is speaking their truth doesn't diminish theirs, and that's what people get confused. And my cat is wanting to get out, so give me a second. Okay, back to that. Yeah, so just because I may be speaking my truth does not mean I'm diminishing yours at all, unless I give like a hint that I'm talking down on you. No way, Jose. Like, I do not do that. That's the opposite of who I am. But from previous experiences, I've seen insecure people, try to get that from me, that um, I don't know what I'm talking about, what that I don't know, um, or that they're the only ones that should know certain things. But yeah, that's a little bit of that. So this is kind of going back to my truth. I've been through many issues, like many people, in which I will discuss. However, it does not diminish yours or anybody else's, of course. But I hope it helps us relate, compare, learn from one another, if anything. But yeah, my first battle with society was at a very young age, unfortunately. I was about 5, 6 years old. When unfortunately a person of authority, a cop, tased a woman of about 5 or 6 months pregnant, and this person was my mother. So there's these types of cases that do make someone either better grow from, or worse, that makes someone bitter. I'm fortunate that I came out better, or I'd like to say, at least I didn't let it have the power to turn me into a negative person, at least. So yeah, there is those two kinds of better or better. So yeah, I was exposed to prejudice, racism, colorism, you name it, at a very young age, especially in the neighborhood I lived in back then. Definitely. So, of course, as a young child, I did have side effects from that, including certainly anxiety. And it made sense because you have to, you look at these people to rely on for protection. And when you see these atrocious things happen, it's like, where's my sense of safety? And you're a child, you're supposed to rely on these adults for safety. So, of course, I kind of battled with that. And yeah, I had older siblings that had their output of things, but again, they were a little older, so of course we're gonna take things differently. Um, but yeah, I so at a very young age, I tended to dissociate um, when I was younger. And I've seen a video of this person talking about the whole matrix and how they don't feel part of it. That was me at a very young age. And by matrix, I mean like society. Um, so I feel like I was born into something I didn't even want to be a part of. I just couldn't assimilate to the world around me. I didn't want to be there. And maybe a lot of people can relate to that too. Um, I just thought, like, how can this world be this way? But thankfully, after everything, I had good mentors at school um, that made me feel comfortable in who I was. And I also battled with moving about 3, 4 times. Um, and I know many have done it even more. But either way, it's just anxiety here and there. And it was just so bad for me at one point, I remember. But I made it through. I learned about the education system later in my college years. Um, and which there's a lot to work on in there as well, because you are filled with these people of power that think they know, but yet they can't be educators. They don't see themselves. And a little pause moment for my nephew again. What's up, buddy? Again in L'Oreal for you. Um, Show them your T-shirt again, because my last footage got erased or not. But this my cat, my shady girl. Yes. Be careful with her, key. Now, show them your shirt again. Show them that batty little shirt you have. Yes. He knows every character there except two, and me too, because, yeah. Okay. Bye now. You got shy. Let's give it a second, because these are some a topic right here. I mean, it was the education. But yeah, you have people of power. Some people that lack that morality, that haven't seen that, haven't witnessed things, and don't try it, but rather are there for greed. But more of that in my last 2 episodes, if you want to check those out. I do have great people on there, retired educators, speaking about the difference they want to make, the power they want to take back, and less abuse for those educators, teachers that have a lot on their shoulders, as I once did. Um, and that's why I believe where it's going. But to those people that are fighting for a better system, I have those. If you want to check out. So yeah. So my experience, just putting myself out there. Some people may see me as another little pretty bass, just that doesn't know what she's talking about, but here I am telling my truth. Pause. So yeah, if you hear some background noise, it's probably my nephew and his silliness, but I love him. I love him so much. Um, but yeah, that's a little bit of my backstory. Um, I think people will try and judge me, criticize me, but I I literally been there, done that, not that, but like been in different occasions where things have happened and I'm being judged or criticized, and I just could care less. um, so again, when you're walking in your truth, you do see past people's BS, um, and that's what they try to project onto you. So that's when they try to teach. That's when you try and teach them better to or you can let them be. And a lot of times you let them be because they know what's better, and it's good at times because you know your path and you've learned, and it takes a man it's a matter of them, wanting to learn. So yeah, over the years, again, I felt like I didn't want to be part of this world. I think I had a lot of wisdom and morality just at a very young age. And for someone to try to take that away from me, it's like, what? That's crazy. Um, and yeah, just a lot of that just to be hanging out with anybody or someone that doesn't have that morality that so yeah, I never cared to be part of a large friend group. I didn't mind being alone. I did distance myself from superficial people. I just didn't care to be part of that because it's just like I couldn't relate. I had other aspects of my life. I wanted more growth, and I just couldn't. I felt like I couldn't stay stuck there. Um, and in turn, I got blessed with better relationships, better people. To be honest, I like with more that could offer me learning to learn and grow. Um, and I'm able to now educate others in another way. So just I'd say be careful what you wish for, even subconsciously, as it may manifest. I may not be educating in the system, but I'm doing so otherwise in other ways. Um, um, but that's something I want to put out there. These days, you can't be a triple threat. It's like you can't be smart, you can't be polite, you can't have good intentions, and also have like a good, genuine aura to you, just a pretty face or whatever it may be. And in turn, people even glamorize those people that aren't are in it for bad intentions or for other things. But I say F that. Don't be afraid to walk the path less traveled. Because you never know the relationships you'll build, the bonds. It's all about. It took me breaking out of my shell, and like literally, my sister. We were talking about this. Um, I was the type of person that my mom had to force me to go out in high school. Like I would not be out. I was only part of the cheer team, but that's because I love again positive person, and dancing. Um, but other than that, I didn't care to be part of a group like that. But I love the relationships I did build. But I don't know. It was just for me to get out there a little bit more. But my sister will literally say that, like, and look at me now. um, but yeah, everyone goes through their things. Again, just because I'm speaking about mine doesn't diminish yours. And that's what I've seen literally be portrayed. When I speak to others, they feel like, oh, this person went through, but I went through this too. And but it's not like that. You shouldn't be taken like that at all. And I hate when that's done. Like if I'm speaking my truth, don't just grab it for you to twist it up and be like, no, she doesn't know what she's doing, she's talking about, or because I've had my fair share of those experiences as well. But I do so to to again learn, compare, grow. Um, and one more thing I do want to say that I hate when this happens. Um, Yeah, just because I'm sharing my story doesn't mean you get to talk. Well, I guess people do that all the time, but that's something I despise. It's like, oh yeah, she told me her this, and that happened. Now, like, I know her. Um, it's like a one way, like a fast pass to her. Like it's like no, it's like on a day to day, like who you are as a person that you show up for. Um, so that's one thing I've also witnessed. Just because I've shared myself with you doesn't mean I can still vibe with you, or because if I also see here that you're like talking behind my back, it's like, why would I want to be around you? You know, like make it make sense. So I'd say this to everyone: like having access to you should be a privilege. So, you shouldn't even try to cross that line in the first place. Because if I told you something, yo lo dije en confianza, you know? Um, so, and I've had people, come back. Is it my makeup? Excuse that. Come back and apologize to me, literally. And then as long as you're learning and growing, guys, like that's what I'm about. Why would you want to, stay stuck in some pettiness and some, eso nada más te agüita, um, gets you down in the dumps. Like, you don't want that. And I'm all for positive changes. So, yeah, that's was where I wanted a more personable episode. Um, and that's the main thing for me. Don't be afraid to walk the path less traveled. Like my mama taught me, you're born here alone, you die alone, type of thing. So, um, of course, everyone should try and build their community. Spread love. I think that's what this world is about. But again, some people may turn it the other way and whatnot. But yeah, that's a little bit. And on my next episode, I will be embracing more of my Latina roots. Um, I will be putting more of, since it's Hispanic Heritage Month, a little bit of what happened this year earlier in January, my trip, and putting that all together and what it means for me to be a Latina, to be Mexican, and my culture. I was the only friend literally going to Mexico in my friend group. Yep, I was literally the only one, and people were like, "Why would you go?" Like, but I just didn't care. I didn't care about my roots and my heritage. I'm like, they could speak what they want, but these experiences are forever, you know. Um, so yeah, so stay tuned for those episodes coming right up next week. Um, I know I've been a little bit MIA, but things happen, and I just wanted to, just all these thoughts kind of wanted to get them out here first, and gathering those thoughts obviously takes time. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time.